One win in our last 7 games in all competitions. Believe it or not. Fewest wins over a 7-game period since Mikel Arteta joined the club. In our last 7 games, our only win was against Brighton at Emirates, 2-0. Can you believe that? And you know what's funny? It doesn't feel like that exactly. I mean, we've been through some rough patches since Arteta took over, sure. But I didn't have the feeling that the situation right now is this serious. And you know why? Because if we're being honest, we're actually playing well. It's not like we are struggling through the whole 90 minutes every single match and we can't get the ball into our opponent's box. I would understand if that's the case. As someone who used to criticize Arteta for many things throughout the years, I can't really criticize him for this right now. If you look at the stats, we should have won against both Liverpool and West Ham. We were better than them and we completely outperformed them by XG. Even against Fulham, we were the better team if you're only looking at the stats. So it's hard for me to criticize him on that front. Because in reality, even with all the injuries and everything, he set up the team to win. We created enough chances to comfortably win in these games. But somehow, we haven't even scored one single goal. Just listen to this. Listen to this. In Arsenal's last 2 games at the Emirates, against West Ham and Liverpool, right? In total, Arsenal had 48 shots without scoring a single goal. Unreal. I would have understood if we had 5 shots a game and we didn't manage to score, but this, what type of sorcery is this? It's like someone put a spell on us. How do you have 48 shots on opponent's goal and you fail to score at least once? Bear in mind, our squad is depleted with all these injuries. And Arteta is basically using the only players he has left in the squad. So that's what I mean when I say that I can't blame him too much for these results. Maybe to some extent we can talk about some mistakes that he made tactically or wrong substitutions here and there. But in general, I can't really blame him for this. How can you blame a manager when your team misses 10 plus clear chances in the span of 3 games? How? He himself even said it in his post-match interview after the game versus Liverpool when he said, and I quote, "Yeah, it is frustrating, but what can we do? I can't tell them play bad, don't shoot, and score an own goal." And honestly, I agree with him. But what I can blame him for, to some extent, is how badly we prepared for this season when we didn't buy the players we needed last summer. We all knew that we needed another midfielder and another striker, right? We already talked about this. You can't rely on Gabriel Jesus to carry your attack for the whole season. Injury-prone Jesus, who already missed 11 games for us so far this season, and he was injured for almost 4 months last season. And he's now injured again when we need him the most. I mean, if I, an average football fan who chats shit on social media, can understand that, how is it possible that Edu and Arteta didn't think this through? You are entering into a critical part of your season, and your only recognized striker in the whole squad is Eddie Nketiah, who scored 6 goals in 26 appearances so far this season in all competitions. I swear, you can't make this up. Even if you try it, you can't make this up. We are doing this to ourselves. We talked the same thing about needing one more midfielder alongside Declan Rice, because you can't rely on Thomas Partey that he will magically stay fit for the whole season. Since he joined us, Thomas Partey in total has been out injured for a little over a year. So, in 3 full seasons so far that he spent with the club, he was out injured for basically 1 whole calendar year. And once again, somehow, you decided that you don't need to bring in another midfielder alongside Declan Rice. And if Partey gets injured, you have enough quality on the bench. At least, that's what I took from this. And that quality on the bench, by the way, is called 32-year-old Jorginho and 31-year-old Mohamed Oneni. And I have nothing against them. In their prime, they would both be solid options to have on your bench. But in 2024, and that is something for which I can blame Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar. If me and you, Arsenal fans who are watching this, average football fans, could have predicted this. And we talked numerous times from the start of this season that we are not ready and prepared for this season if we want to compete for all the major trophies. Then how is it possible that Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar didn't think that this would happen? And I don't want to hear about, oh, we didn't have enough money to buy one more striker or a midfielder. Mate, we bought Kai fucking Havertz for 65 million pounds. The guy doesn't know where he stands on the pitch. He's been a lost cause for us so far. Not good enough to play in attack. Not good enough to play on the wing. Not good enough to play as an attacking midfielder. Not good enough to play as a box-to-box midfielder. I talked about this in my video after the game versus Liverpool, so if you haven't already, feel free to check it out. We don't have enough money. Mate, we have to pay 30 million pounds to Brentford for David Raya, a goalkeeper who is basically on the same level as our last season's goalkeeper, who also costed us 30 million pounds when we signed him. So that's 100 million pounds for Kai Havertz, who, if we're being honest, is not good enough to break into our starting 11 when everyone is fit, and David Raya, who is definitely not an upgrade on Aaron Ramsdale. So that's 100 million pounds thrown away. Just imagine for a second if we decided to spend that money on a new striker and a midfielder last summer. Just imagine how different our season could have been, even with all these injuries, if only we invested in the right players. And now, not only that our new signings are not working out for us and are not making any positive difference, except for Declan Rice, of course, but our current core of players who have been here for a long time now, they are also completely out of form. But because you didn't invest in the right players during the summer, you don't have any quality options on the bench to rotate your squad and try some new things, maybe a different approach or something. Instead, you have to rely on what you got and hope for the best. Don't worry, I didn't forget about Bukayo Saka. We also have to talk about him. Since he got that stupid haircut, he's been absolutely shit. Let's just say it as it is. He's been below average for us these past few weeks. Let's not lie to ourselves. And according to Arteta, he's ready and prepared to carry this team and play 60, 70 games a season. I absolutely love Saka. He's probably my favorite player in this squad. And his impact since the start of this season has been massive. Goals, assists, creating space. But let's keep it real right now. Let's not lie to ourselves. For these past few weeks, he's been terrible. Completely out of form. He plays without any confidence, slow in transition, the defender sweet his every move. He doesn't take the chance to shoot at goal when space opens up for him. I don't want to bash him too much. After all, he's still only 21 years old. And even with his current form, he's been carrying our team since the start of the season. So to see him go through a rough patch is a normal thing in football and life. But the problem is, and here we go again, the problem is that we don't have any other player on our bench who could replace him when he's not playing on his standard level. Pep Guardiola benched Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Leroy Sané, Jack Grealish, Phil Foden, and other players over the years when they weren't in form. So if Guardiola can bench those players and still get the results without any fuss, because remember, no one is bigger than the club, right? Then why is Mikel Arteta refusing to sign another top quality winger who can jump in when needed? And right now, it would be a perfect time to try and give Saka some rest, because the kid is absolutely smashed. He plays every single game for us in every single competition, and he's always playing for the full 90 minutes. I don't get it. Maybe I don't understand football that well, I don't know, but I just don't understand things like this. And when, God forbid, due to the amount of games he's played, he starts getting injured like Jack Wilshere back in the day, we are all going to say, I knew it. I knew this would happen. I mean, God forbid, because I don't want to see any of our players go through what Jack Wilshere had to go through with all of his injuries. But you get my point, right? It's January 8th. We are out of the FA Cup, out of the Carabao Cup, 5 points behind Liverpool in the league, and in the round of 16 of the Champions League. I mean, if we're being honest, it could have been a lot worse. But after the season we had last year, it could have been a lot better, right? Because we expected that this team will only grow and become even better than last season. But obviously, we slightly overestimated some of these players and their capabilities. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope that these players will convince me that they can do more and better than what they are doing right now. And that from today until the end of the season, we will do everything we can to win every available trophy. But that's just a fan in me saying, if that makes sense. If I'm being realistic, judging by how the things are looking right now, top 4 finish and quarterfinal, maybe semifinal of the Champions League will be our maximum this season. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But that's just how I feel about the team right now. But what about you? What are your predictions for the rest of the season? Write down in the comments. Gunners, football fans, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining in. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.